using just Heartless, but Xavier has kept killing those Reavers. He's racked up at least 3 Reaver kills and at least 1 shuttle kill as well. Bisu using all the tricks of his trade, using all his skill and his guile, trying to be in multiple places at the same time, trying to keep Xavier off balance, but Xavier is up to it. Xavier can cope with his multitasking and has been doing so. Bisu now attacking the 9 o'clock position while also trying to hold his base. Xavier trying to just send the right amount of Heartless to deal with those 4 Zealots, and he's effected a good surround, and Xavier's micro, excellent, and you might not think watching that battle that that's excellent micro, but it is because he's doing so much else at the same time to also micro those Heartless in that battle. It's excellent play by Xavier. Bisu now coming in with a shuttle. He's going to drop again in Xavier's, looks like Xavier's National Expo, 4 Zealots this time. That shuttle is potentially going to get picked off by the Scourges, and Bisu does lose the shuttle, and now Xavier has got Mutalisk out as well. I'm surprised at the Mutalisk. Bisu trying to take Xavier's Heartless Den down, focusing down with the 4 Zealots. If he can take this Heartless Den down, that might just buy him a little bit more time, a few more precious seconds, but I think that Heartless Den is going to survive, and Xavier does save the Heartless Den. Bisu retreating with his Corsairs. Bisu meanwhile has managed to build up a decent sized force of Reavers with Zealots and High Templar for support, but he lost his shuttle in that drop, and I have to say that was careless by Bisu because his shuttle just hovered at Xavier's main after dropping those Zealots. It didn't retreat instantly, and Xavier now with a massive air force coming in, and he's going to try and use those Mutalisks to make Bisu waste those storms. Bisu continue to pop out the Sairs, and Xavier getting ready for another attack on Bisu, and Xavier realizes that this is where Bisu is weak, but Bisu does have the Sairs. Xavier doesn't seem to have enough Scourges for support really to take out these Sairs, but Xavier coming in, I think he's willing to sacrifice the Mutalisk there to try and take the Reavers down. One of the Reavers goes down, the second Reaver coming under fire. Bisu has 3 Reavers there. Massive storms for Bisu catching the Mutalisk, but Xavier maneuvering outside of them, trying to draw those Corsairs into the line of Xavier's Heartless, and those Corsairs are going to push those Mutalisks back. Xavier manages to snipe, I think, only the one Reaver at the end. The second Reaver just about survives critically for Bisu there. Bisu's now got to shuttle out. He's got Dragoons as well, but Xavier's now put himself between Bisu's forces. He's divided Bisu's forces in 2, and so Bisu's not able to get that force together. He's not able to put those Zealots in front of those Dragoons like he needs to, and have the Reavers further behind them. Now Bisu trying to catch Xavier outside his National Expo, but Xavier effecting a pincer movement, snipe one of the High Templar as well as the Observers. Brilliant maneuvering by Xavier, and he snipes the Reaver as well. Xavier snipes the Reaver as well. Horrible for Bisu. He loses a High Templar, Reaver, and an Observer to Xavier's flanking force, and now Xavier's surrounding Bisu's main army, and Bisu's just like that been exposed. Bisu's army spread out and picked off piece by piece. Xavier's Zerglings converging upon them, converging and hunting in packs, isolating Bisu's units and taking them down. Xavier once again effecting an attack at Bisu's expansion at the 3 o'clock position. This time, Bisu might not have enough to hold it, coming in with the Corsairs, trying to do any damage that he can, sacrificing his Corsairs to take damage from the Heartless to buy his ground units a little bit more fighting time, but now it's just Dragoons. He doesn't even have Zealot support. He's got a High Templar coming in. The High Templar doesn't seem to have enough energy for storms. 2 High Templar there. Xavier sacrificing more Heartless. Xavier setting in more Heartless, and this time this looks like Bisu's going to be overrun, and it looks like Xavier is going to have the victory in this chapter of the endless saga of battles between these 2 epic players. Bisu now coming in with reinforcements, but Xavier's position is really strong. He's taken out all of Bisu's Reavers. He's taken out so many High Templars. He's taken out all of his Sairs, and Bisu is now just left with a couple of High Templars and Dragoons, and his ground force is severely depleted. Bisu is in huge trouble here, it has to be said. He's putting up a couple more gateways, but he's completely locked down. His economy is in tatters. His main is mined out. His Natural Expo is almost mined out. Xavier, though, with the extra base, obviously his minerals are going to last a lot longer. It looks like Xavier might even be going for a drop here. Bisu with the lone Sair and the shuttle, and that shuttle's going to get sniped yet again. I don't even know what was in the shuttle. I'm guessing there were High Templar in there, and Bisu trying to take down those Overlords. Xavier going for a drop at Bisu's main, and Bisu's force and brilliance by Xavier, realizing that Bisu had switched primarily to Dragoons and High Templar, realizing his force was immobile and slow because he didn't have the speed upgrade High Templar anymore, and it was brilliant by Xavier. The Overlords were empty. They were a diversion tactic, and Bisu fell for it. Bisu took the bait, and Xavier's reeling him in. Xavier effects an attack at Bisu's 3 o'clock Expo yet again, this time taking out all of the photon cannons, but still not able to kill the Nexus. Bisu pulled his forces back just in the nick of time when he saw that the Overlords weren't dropping. So gutsy move by Xavier. Bisu with his lone Sair, and Xavier was able to do that, commit so many Overlords to that because he taken out all of Bisu's air force. Master stroke of strategy by the Maestro. He really played a note. He made a note that sounded behind Bisu, and Bisu turned around to listen to the song, and lo and behold, behind him was the Maestro's army streaming in, and Bisu was in huge trouble here. The Protoss champion coming under heavy fire, now forced to rely on DTs as his last line of defense. The very DTs that were Xavier's nemesis, that were Xavier's Achilles heel, and now Xavier with the Mutalisk in Bisu's main, and Xavier's taking on the pylon, supporting Bisu's gateways, and Bisu's going to be in trouble here. This is rare to see this in Protoss vs Zerg, that a game gets to a point where a Zerg player can actually take down the supporting pylons and actually underpower the gateways with Mutalisks. because normally a Protoss is able to defend, but Bisu just doesn't have anything to air defend. Bisu setting out lone DTs just to try and hurt Savior's economy any which way he can, while just barely trying to hold on to his own. Those DTs are going to be effective though, because I don't think Savior has any overlords in position, because he hasn't expected those DTs to be used in the battle this late on in the game. But Savior is just able to overpower despite the DTs there. Savior is just going to plow ahead because he's got such huge weight of numbers on his side, and he's now bringing an overlord into play. Bisu trying to snipe the lone overlord. Meanwhile, the burrow prevents Bisu from doing any significant economic damage to Savior. That burrow has paid its price 20 times over. And now, finally, the last bastion of Bisu's hope, the 3 o'clock base, falls. And with it, surely, does Bisu as well. That base is going to get taken down. The Nexus is dead. The Assimilator is going down next. And Bisu's dreams of effecting another famous victory over the Zerg Maestro lie as shattered glass, pieces of shattered glass, and Savior is going to notch up the win here, and Savior is going to write this new chapter in the saga between these two players. Bisu is going to have to concede, and Savior is going to win it for Protoss, showing just how good he really is and how you can never count him out. And it has to be said, Bisu played a great game of StarCraft as well, but I feel that he just let Savior expand a little bit too early on, and Savior's masterful defense against Bisu's Reaver Serre, and you can see why so many Protoss players don't use Reaver Serre anymore these days, simply because of how effective Zerg players have gotten at defending against it. But Savior showed some real strokes of brilliance in that game, and once again I think this game underlies the importance and the magnificence of Burrow. It's not that costly, guys, you gotta get it. It's just so powerful against a Protoss player who's using shuttles, because you can see where he's coming from to harass you. You can burrow those drones. It's very difficult for a Protoss player to have the resources to get those observers in place to see the burrowed units to be able to affect any damage to them. It's just I think it is probably the most useful Zerg ability after Defiler Swarm. Nevertheless, great game of StarCraft. Zergs win out in the end. Thanks for watching. This is Klazart, and make sure you guys check out the Connor Cup.
예상을 뒤엎어버리면서 실력발휘 확실히 하면서 적의 자존심을 챙깁니다. 네, 마지막 선수